Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my birth story because I am no longer pregnant and I feel so good to not be pregnant. I literally I love being pregnant, but the end literally has me fighting for my life. So today I'm going to be getting ready. I'm gonna do my makeup while I tell you guys my birth story in detail. I know we did a birth vlog, but this is gonna be more the details of how the birth went down because I know girls love these types of videos. I love these types of videos, just especially when I was pregnant, hearing other people's stories. And mine is a positive birth story. So if you want a good positive birth story, this is it. If you're gonna be one of those people who's like, this is unrealistic, just maybe click out the video because it is realistic, it happens. I've had a birth story with Sky that wasn't obviously the best, but I mean, it was good because her and me came out healthy and safe and sound, so that's all that matters. But that birth story was a lot more intense. So if you guys didn't know, let me give you a little rundown of my first birth story, a really quick short version. So basically with Sky, in the middle of the night, I woke up and there was blood all in the bed at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning. And we rushed to the hospital. I wasn't sure if Sky was still alive because they asked me, they were like, do you feel baby moving? And honestly, I was like, no, I don't feel her moving. So we rushed to the hospital in a panic. And then the nurses were like, oh my God, it's just what we thought. This is so bad. And they wouldn't tell us what was going on because they had to wait for the doctor to tell me. Apparently they couldn't tell me. We were very panicked and Josh almost passed out. He didn't pass out, he almost passed out. He got so white and yellow. It was so bad. He almost passed out. I'm bleeding a ton. We're not sure if baby's okay. But then once we figured out she was okay, they basically figured out that it was an eruption in my placenta. So they weren't sure if they were gonna have to rush me back for a C-section, and a C-section to where I might have to be completely knocked out, not even a C-section to where I'm awake. So all day was just really stressful waiting to know if I was gonna have to do that or be rushed back for emergency C-section. So we weren't sure. It was really stressful. Then when I gave birth, it wasn't long, but I did have a really bad 4th degree tear. And apparently it's not that common to have a 4th degree tear. And I tore so bad that it was on layers of down there and then on the sides as well. So they literally ended up having to stitch me up for an hour and 20 minutes, not even exaggerating. That's how long it was. And I mean, I was fine. I recovered fine. So I was grateful, honestly, at that point, just that me and Sky were safe and sound because birth is such a scary experience. I feel so much goes on. And so at the end of it, I still had a good experience, but it definitely was not the picture perfect, oh, I pushed for a minute and no tear and everything was perfect. So this time around was very different. And I'm gonna share that story in a little bit more detail. Also, this is not breast milk. This is my daughter is right here and she has our little hair bin and she keeps spraying me. Sky, do you wanna say hi? Look.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, her hair, it's a little messy now, but it was so cute this morning. Josh did it. He's getting really good at it. Did Daddy do your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah? And do you have a new sister?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Jump, jump.
Yeah, jump, jump. Okay. So basically this time was a little different. They ended up inducing me early just because of how bad my tear was. So basically they gave me an option to be induced just a little bit early, and I didn't really want to be induced too early because I know sometimes if you do an induction and baby is not ready and your body's not ready, that it can lead to a C-section, and ultimately I really just didn't want to have a C-section. I know people have a lot of positive experiences with them, but I'm the idea of just being cut open in your stomach and just the layers of tissue that they have to go through, I'm that recovery seems pretty bad. So I'm honestly a 4th degree tear or a C-section. I don't know, some people, so many of the nurses were shocked that I didn't just go in for a C-section, but I'm I feel a C-section sounds just as bad or almost even worse. The recovery sounds pretty intense. So ultimately I was just trying to avoid having to do a C-section. So I was and I want to give baby enough time in my belly. So I waited till I was 39 and a half weeks to be induced. And I scheduled it at about 39 weeks, and then 39 and a half weeks is when I went in. And it was so calm. It's so weird getting an induction because you just go in and everything's peaceful and you're not stressed because you're not in labor yet. We had to call at 8, make sure there was a room available. Then at 9 we went in and we just started Pitocin around 10 or 11, I think 11 o'clock, because they have to give you your IVs, they have to do all the paperwork, they have to do all the questions, things like that. So that's what we did in the first part. About 11 o'clock they started Pitocin, and they didn't do side effect or anything because I was already pretty effaced. I think it was 70% effaced and then almost at a 3 centimeters dilated. So honestly, it's funny because someone asked me, they're do you get do you feel like when you have to film, and they say like have to, which first of all, we don't have to film as like social media influencers. I honestly love filming, and especially in moments like that, someone asked, they were like, oh, like I don't mean this in a mean way, but like, do you ever feel like it takes away from the moment? And I'm like, honestly, like when you're in labor or like waiting around to really be in labor, because Pitocin, the contractions didn't start right away. It's so boring. Like you just sit at the hospital and you're sitting there for like all day, just sitting in a bed or just walking around. Like you're just kind of waiting around when you're being induced. And even when you are in labor, you're still just waiting around to like dilate more so you can actually like push the baby out. So honestly, we were so bored. We filmed so many TikToks and like that made it like a little bit more fun. So we did film a lot of TikToks. And the answer is no, it doesn't really take away, because when we filmed the birth too, we weren't even really focused on like having a perfect shot. This time around, we really didn't even get like the best footage of like the birth vlog, because we literally just propped the camera up. And sometimes like nurses and stuff are a little bit weird about filming in the hospital, which I get, or they feel like they're on camera, which we would like blur their face and stuff. But we just weren't really that focused on getting like the perfect content or whatever. Like, but we always like try and set up the cameras or stuff just so we have like the memories and everything. Just because in the moment you literally forget so much that goes on. It's crazy. Like literally even watching Sky's birth back, I'm like, I don't remember saying this. I don't remember doing this, but it's so fun to like be able to watch back and like look back on it. So I'm glad we always have that. But anyway, I start Pitocin. It takes so long. I'm like waiting for contractions to start. I want things to start like hurting so that way I know my body's like contracting and like we can get to, you know, the fun part, pushing. So basically all day we waited, and then I think around like 2, I could have the time wrong, but like around 2-ish, they came and broke my water. My OB was at the hospital and she came in and broke my water, and then my water was broken. Contractions started getting a lot worse. I waited a little bit. I didn't want to get the epidural when I wasn't in pain, but I didn't want to like push too far, because it's like if you're getting the epidural, why put yourself through pain if you don't have to? But also I didn't want to get it too soon. Not that I don't think there's anything wrong with getting it too soon, just I wanted to make sure that like it was almost time and I could endure a little bit of pain. And then they started like picking up really fast, and like I told the nurse, I was like, oh yeah, like I think I'm ready for the epidural. And not that much time went by, but like 20 minutes, but within those 20 minutes, they really started picking up. So I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I just told her, because I still wasn't sure. I was like, is it too soon? Is it not? And then I told her, we got my epidural, and thank God it was placed so good, because my poor friend had the worst experience, and it was at the same hospital to where she basically, they put the epidural in her like, I think 6 different times, she said. And then she ended up getting her spinal fluid, like they hit her spine or something, and she had like her whole body basically went septic, and it was just like a terrible, terrible experience. She'd be hospitalized for like a week after she gave birth. So I was very nervous for the epidural this time, just because I didn't want to get the same guy who did her. And then luckily it wasn't, and luckily like my epidural experience was really good. He came, did it. I don't think the epidural hurts at all. I don't know why I feel like contractions are more painful, and like when you do that, like it's like, I don't know, like the contractions, you're like, okay, I'd rather not feel this. And I didn't really feel anything with the epidural. And like honestly, the IV bothers me more than getting epidural, and IV doesn't really bother me that bad, but like I feel like it's even more uncomfy. But so the epidural wasn't too bad. I got that, and then after I got the epidural, a little bit, we were just like waiting around for a long time, like just lots of waiting, and we were waiting around. Okay, so then from like, I would say like 3 o'clock to about like at night before pushing, Summer's heart rate kept dropping. And now this same thing did happen with Sky, and they literally were like, my OB said like we didn't need a C-section, but the nurse before, she was like, I don't even like to say the word, but if we can't get her heart rate under control, a C-section could be on the table. And I was like so upset, like not obviously with the nurse or anything. And she was like, she wasn't even saying we're gonna have to have a C-section or anything like that. She was just letting me know like this could be a possibility, probably just to like get me mentally ready in case we did have to do that. In that moment, I felt so bad, just because I was like, oh my God, I've heard these stories of people like getting induction and like rushing things. And then I felt really guilty. I was like, I really don't want to have a C-section. I was like, if I had to have a C-section, like it's my fault. Like I was just like in my head about it. Like I was just really nervous. I was like, I really don't want to have one. But obviously I just want me and baby to be healthy and safe, so I'm gonna do whatever they say. But I was like really bummed out. But then my OB came in and I asked her, I was like, are we gonna have to do a C-section? And she was like, no, I think there's like a lot of other things we can do before we do a C-section. So what they actually had to do, her heart rate kept dropping, but then it was like really good, like it would come back up really high. So they basically put something inside me. At this point I already had a catheter in because I had the epidural. They like put something like up to my uterus. It was like a cord, and basically it filled my uterus uterus with water since they broke my water. So it like keeps the baby happier because they have like more room, I guess, to move. So they added like water in my uterus, and then they could like track the contractions through that. And once they did that, thank God, she was like, her heart rate started staying so much more consistent and better. So that literally helped her. Before that, it was very nerve-wracking because it was like hours of like her heart rate dropping, and like I can hear it. So like I'm like trying to breathe with the oxygen mask, like flipping positions. I just felt like very like, not like very stressed, but like, I don't know, you just get like so nervous that like things can go so wrong in labor. So I was just like a little worried about that. So this is something I didn't know, is like when you have an epidural, and even with Sky last time, it's like you can start to feel the contractions again when they're about to like crown, when they're about to like come out. And same thing with last time with Sky. I was like, oh my God, I can feel it, the contractions. I was worried that I was like, oh my God, the epidural is not like working this time. This time I knew that happened. So I was like, oh my God, I can really feel the pressure. I can literally feel her like coming down. I feel like I can feel my hips like moving. And I was like, I can feel it all. Like, it's so weird, which obviously I can't feel it all because I had an epidural. I can imagine that pain without the epidural. Oh my God, props to people who do it natural, because even with an epidural and feeling that, I'm like, this would be so beyond uncomfortable. But I kind of liked being able to feel it because I'm like, this is cool. Like, it's really uncomfy, but like you can like, you just know like what's going on with your body. And then anyway, I kept letting those contractions go. And then there was one contraction that happened that like I could feel her even further. And I was like, okay, this is like constant. Like I don't, like it's not going away. She's like there. So I told the nurse, I was like, hey, I think that it's time to push. Like I was like, I feel like she's like right there. And then she checked me and she's like, oh wow. Okay, she's like, yeah, she's right there. They're like, she's basically out. They're like, she'll be out in like literally like a couple pushes. And then I think it was like 11, I would say like 11:20. About 11:20 something, we started pushing, and then she was born at 11:39, or it was later, I don't know. I think we pushed for like 10 to like 12 minutes. It wasn't long, but the reason it wasn't long was because I feel like I waited till we started pushing till I felt the contractions. And this time was so different because last time I had 4th-degree tear, my goal, and they knew, all my nurses and the OB, they're like, the goal for this time is to not push hard, not just like aggressively push, like just really slow. So like each like contraction I had, like I was like barely pushing, and Josh was like, you seem so calm. And I was like, well, I can't feel anything. And I'm just trying to like focus on like not tearing. So I was just like really slowly pushing. Thankfully she came out, everything was healthy. And Josh was a little bit nervous just because she didn't cry at first, but we watched the video back and it was literally only like 2-3 seconds without her crying. Like it really wasn't that long. It just always feels long. And then even in our birth video, like I feel like Josh and I are so quiet, like we didn't say anything, just because I'm like, I get so nervous when I give birth, because you see on TikTok all these videos of like all these sad things that can happen during birth, like how serious it is. And so it's like, it's nerve-wracking. But then like after, once I know that me and baby are safe, I'm like, okay, I can like relax and just fully enjoy this. And it was just such a good experience. Like I had a 1st-degree tear. They literally put 1 stitch in. And I mean like 1 stitch. Like last time it was an hour and 20 minutes them stitching me. This was literally like a minute if. And I was like, oh my God, my recovery is gonna be so much easier. I am currently 6 days postpartum, and it has been night and day difference. It's been so much better. So honestly, it was just overall such a good birth experience. We were at the hospital for 2 days because she was at night. Oh, you wanna bring, oh, a little appearance?
A little appearance.
Which I do have to go soon because I had to feed her. But no, literally. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, literally it was such a good experience. Last time was a good experience too, but obviously with the 4th-degree tear, the abruption, it just made it like a kind of emotional roller coaster. This time it was a little roller coaster. I feel like birth is always a little bit like that, but oh, I feel so good. Like postpartum, I'm just like so happy that she's healthy, I'm healthy. I feel so good. My recovery's been so much easier this time. I feel like this time I noticed my back hurt a little bit more though. And I don't think that's from the epidural. I literally think that's just like from giving birth, because your like body shifts and moves, but now it's a lot better. We've been home for a couple days. It's been about 6 days and it has been so fun. I just want to say thank you guys too for all your like loving, kind, supportive messages about like the birth and everything. I know some of you guys were like just praying everything goes smoothly. And we always post like after, like once we give birth, we'll normally post like, hey, like it's baby time, you know, but like it's always like a couple days behind, just because I always get nervous. I'm like, I just want to make sure everything goes good before I like share everything. And like, you know, I don't know, it's just such an incredible experience. And like I really do feel like you'll never feel as close to like God as in that experience. And just like the things that your body can go through, it's so cool to see like what women do to bring like life into this. I'm just like, God is like so real, like, cause like through this experience, it's like things just wouldn't make sense if you you know, like, not to like shame if anyone doesn't believe, but I'm like, I just, in my head, I'm like, how could you not believe? I'm like, it's so crazy, because I'm like, look what our bodies can do. Like, and then my body can just like go back to normal, and not like normal, but like, you know, like from going to pregnancy to not, and then my body can like feed this baby and like keep it alive. Like, I don't know, it's just so cool what our bodies can do, and women are literally so cool. Like, I think it's like the coolest experience. But I do just want to say thank you guys, and I'm just so grateful that everything went good. So this time was such a positive birth experience, like literally 12 hours of labor, probably about like 10 to 15 minutes of pushing. It was so good, and I'm so grateful for it, because that is what I prayed for, because last time was a little crazy. But I just want to say I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will be doing a video soon of like a day in the life of like having 2 kids, because I think it's so much more work now, so I want to show you guys that, but it's also like a good fun challenge, so I want to share that with you guys. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.